In this video, I'm going to take you around Midlothian, Virginia, specifically to 23112 zip code on the map. And then we're going to talk a little bit about some of the pros and cons about living in this part of Midlothian. Good thing about the map video is it really gives you a good orientation of this area with its proximity to downtown and other important landmarks like the airport. You can also take a look at my last video, which was a neighborhood tour of the 23112 zip code. This kind of helps put this in context and shows you some homes in this area. And I think that's a great one to watch as well. So Chesterfield is a very large county geographically. It is massive. So you really can't do Chesterfield in one video or even two videos for that matter. So that's why I'm breaking it down somewhat. And Midlothian is a sort of subsection of Chesterfield County, and even Midlothian itself is big. It encompasses 3 zip codes, 23112, 23113, and 23114. Now, I do highly recommend you watch my other videos that I've already done on the other 2 zip codes, which are 23113 and 23114. I've got neighborhood videos and map video / pro and con video on both of those zip codes as well. So if you have a chance, when you're done with this video, check those out and you'll be able to see sort of the Midlothian area as a whole. And great videos to check out if Midlothian is an area of interest for you. If this is your first time at a channel and you want to know everything there is about living in Richmond, Virginia, and the surrounding counties of Hanover, Henrico, Chesterfield, New Kent, Goochland, and Powhatan, then subscribe below, tap the notifications bell so you can be the first to know about the current market in Richmond, Virginia. My name is Scott.Dearnley with Joyner Properties. My team and I get calls from folks like you every single day looking for help moving to the Richmond area, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days, 90 days, heck, even 9 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. All of this information is in the description below, and we can help you make a smooth move to Richmond, Virginia. Now, if you stick around to the end of the video, I'm going to share with you a great resource that you definitely don't want to miss that could save you lots of time and effort if you're relocating to the greater RVA area, and we're going to get after it right now. So let's go ahead and hop onto my computer and we're going to take a look around Midlothian, Virginia, specifically the 23112 zip code. All right, we have now hopped on my computer and we're taking a look at the 23112 zip code that you can see outlined here in blue. And this is its relationship to downtown Richmond. As you can see, we are south of the James River. South of the river, James River kind of comes through the Richmond area and sort of bisects it in half. Sort of half of the city is above it, half of the city is below it. So in general here, we're about a 30-minute drive if you live in, if you work in downtown Richmond. You're going to take the Powhite Parkway here, Route 76, to the Downtown Expressway. You are going to hit 2 tolls along the way, but you will be able to get to downtown Richmond to work in about 30 minutes. So it's really not that far. As you can see right here, we have the beautiful Swift Creek Reservoir that sort of, the zip code is, kind of circled around the reservoir. And this is very beautiful. Basically, the reservoir is like a big lake. It's called a reservoir, which it is, but when you look at it, there's houses all along it. It's like a beautiful big lake. Now, as you'll notice here, we have 288 that's sort of running right here and runs through the zip code. So if you work somewhere over in the short pump area, right up here, it is very convenient to just hop on 288 from anywhere in this part of Midlothian and go across the river and head on up to Short Pump for your work. Then you have, like say, the CarMax Capital One campuses. They're right around here off of 288. So if you work there, this is very convenient just to go there in the morning. So if you travel a lot and you need to get to the airport is right here, right down here in Sanston. This is eastern Henrico County. What you would most likely do to get to the airport is, depending on where you are in this neighborhood, you would get over here to 150 and 150 is Chippenham Parkway, and 150, it's going to come on out here, and then you'll bend around here, and then there's this nice little 150 turns into 895, and then there's a nice little back way into the airport right here, and that is very convenient. Now you do hit a very large toll on 895, so that is the one down part about going this way. But if you want to make sure you get there, this back way is very good. Now you can just go downtown to, like we talked to before, you can take Powhite Parkway, Downtown Expressway, get on 64, and then kind of come in here and come in the front entrance of the airport. You're still going to hit 2 tolls along this route, but then you can get caught up in downtown traffic. So this back way that I'm mentioning into the airport, although it costs a little more, it'll give you peace of mind knowing that you're going to get to the airport in time. So that's one thing to consider. So we're going to zoom in a little bit on the zip code. A few great neighborhoods are part of this zip code. You have the Halsley neighborhood, which is right up here where it says Roseland. Halsley is one of my favorite neighborhoods. Brander Mill and Woodlake are 2 of Richmond's very first big planned unit developments. They're very nice neighborhoods. They're part of this zip code. And so let's say if we're thinking about things like shopping and dining, 360, this is Hull Street Road. This is a very industrial road. You're going to have many different shopping and dining options here off of 360, especially when we come off of 288 and we go a little bit west. In this corridor right in here, there is going to be pretty much all the shopping and dining options you want. And actually there's a little bit more east as well of here 288. So you're going to get lots of shopping and dining. There are grocery stores all throughout this area. It's also really pretty close to, see, this is 360, which is Hull Street. It's also close to Route 60 as well. So 60, if you're living in this part, you're going to have a lot of those shopping and dining opportunities up here off of Route 60. So very convenient, that these are just 2 roads where there's a high concentration of shopping and dining on Midlothian Turnpike and then Hull Street Road down here. There's going to be lots of grocery stores. There's Publix, there's Kroger, there's Fresh Market, you name it. All of that is in there. There's tons of dining options. You've got, lots of, if you're a golfer, you can go, Brander Mill is a great place to golf. There's also several other golf courses. There's one in the Birkdale neighborhood that's right down about where the hand is right here, Birkdale. That's a great golf course as well. If you come a little farther up this way, you've got Independence, which is right here off of 288. So you've got lots of, you've got some golfing options if that's what you're into. So again, this is a very convenient area. And another thing about 23112, we've got some home prices that are in that 350 to 600 range, which can be a little bit hard to find these days. But in this zip code, we've got some neighborhoods that are definitely going to offer that price range. So look in my neighborhood video as well, where we're going to go through 3 different neighborhoods at 3 different price points in this 23112 zip code. And there you can see some different neighborhoods at different price points. But we do have some pretty good value homes in this zip code. And as you can see, it's pretty nicely centrally located, not too far from downtown. Again, you can get to Henrico County really easy here off 288. So it's, it's very convenient, very convenient. So now let's just jump here into InfoSparks and we'll take a look at the 23112 zip code. Looks like our median price here, median price is $407,160. So that's a little bit higher than our median price for our entire multiple listing services at $379. But the median price essentially means it's right in the middle. Half of the houses in the zip code sell for more, half of the houses sell for less. So it's a true middle ground. So that's the median home price in 23112. Let's click over to home for sales. Right now in the 23112 zip code, we have 98 homes for sale at the end of November 23. these stats are always run about a month behind. So days on market, homes are really lasting about 8 days, as you can see right here, which is just under our entire MLS is 9 days on market. So things are still selling quite fast, especially in the 23112 zip code. Price per foot, again, we're averaging right around $200 a foot right here, which is pretty consistent with our entire MLS. Things are tending to run about $200 a foot. And then let's see, percentage of list price. As you can see, basically there's still pretty well a seller's market in this area. Things are selling for right at 100% of the list price. So let's also go out and just take one quick look at Zillow. I think that's always an interesting thing to do. Zillow, this will also give you a pretty good idea of the zip code. It outlines it pretty well. Again, you can see the Swift Creek Reservoir kind of is a central hub of the zip code. And so again, let's kind of peek over here. We've got some new homes. There's definitely some new home subdivisions in 23112 and some newer homes, which is nice. You can see we've got the Roundtray neighborhood. We've got Newmarket, which is another part of Roundtray. So those are right over in this area where the hand is. So we've got some new homes neighborhoods in this zip code. And then again, up here, we have one of my favorite neighborhoods, which is called Halsley. And then we have Woodlake and Brander Mill, which are two just very nice planned unit developments. But again, we're seeing some homes in the, here's one for $350. So that's below that median sales price. Here's $543. So we're a little bit above the median sales price. Here's $325. Again, we're going to be a little bit below there. So we do have things sort of that run the gamut of price in the 23112 zip code. And we can just scroll down through some of these. This neighborhood here is in one called Collington. And it's a nice first floor master home right here. And again, here's a view of the Swift Creek Reservoir. Now you'll see this one's almost $1 million. It's going to be right on the reservoir and have a view of this, what's essentially just a beautiful lake. So that's kind of nice. So having, if you're someone that wants something on the water or with some water views in Richmond, this reservoir is really one of your very few options. And it can be a very, very pretty view there. All right, so we've popped around the map a little bit and looked at some things. Now we're going to hop back off of my computer and we're going to talk about a few of the pros and cons of living in this zip code. All right, so we've looked around the map and you kind of got a feel now for where the 23112 zip code is and how it sort of fits into the overall, location-wise in the Richmond, Virginia area. So let's talk just a few pros and cons. And again, some of this will overlap a little bit, but one of the first pros about Midlothian and the 23112 zip code is just a good central location. You can see it's very convenient with 288 running right through it. If you work in the Short Pump or Innsbruck area, or you want to get to that area in Western Henrico, it's really easy to hop on 288 and access that. If you work at CarMax or Capital One, again, 288 is a really easy artery to sort of get out to that Western Henrico area. Then if you live or if you work downtown, again, it's not hard to get downtown. Just hop on Powhite Parkway to the Downtown Expressway and you can be there in 30 minutes. Now again, con here is you are going to hit 2 tolls on that route. So that can be a con. You've got easy access to the airport going Chippenham Parkway to 895. That'll take you in the back entrance of the airport. So if you travel a lot, really easy to get to the airport. But again, we have a con. That's going to be, you do have a pretty nice big toll on 895. But again, if you're not doing that every day, it's not too bad. But if it could add up if you're hitting that toll every single day. So again, first pro, just a great central location. Now here's another pro that I think is important. Is in general, you're going to get a little more for your money south of the James River in the Midlothian area, Chesterfield County, than say its counterpart that's pretty comparable, which is Henrico County, north of the James River. So let's just take a quick look. A lot of people that look in Midlothian also shop in Western Henrico. So if you look at the two, let's go over to Short Pump, Western Henrico. If you ran some numbers out of our MLS and you looked at a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath home, that's going to average you right around $480,000 with an average year built of 1986. Now let's slide down into Midlothian, into the 23112 zip code, and we're going to be looking at a little bit less than that. A 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath home in 23112 is going to be just over $400 at about $415,000 with an average year built of 1994. So you're going to get more house, or you're going to get a newer house for about 15% less in Midlothian in the 23112 versus say Short Pump. So you just get a little more home for your money south of the river. So another great thing about Midlothian in the 23112 zip code are your schools are going to be really, really highly rated. According to niche.com and greatschools.org and other rating websites, Midlothian has some of the best schools in the area. Now there are some great private school options as well, but heck, if you have great schools and your tax dollars are paying for those great schools, they're definitely worth exploring. So I really, really recommend digging into some of these rating websites on your own. Just type in the 23112 zip code, and I know you're going to like what you see, but it's hard for me to tell you what makes a great school. For you, it might be student to teacher ratio. It could be diversity of the student body. It could be how they do on standardized proficiency tests. It's hard for me to know what you think makes a great school, but all these rating websites will break that down for you. But what I can tell you is I think when you go there, you will be very pleased with what you see in this zip code. So another great thing about the 23112 zip code is you've got some new construction options. You probably have more new construction options in this, down in Midlothian than you will find north of the river, say in its counterpart in Western Henrico. You've got Roundtray, you've got Newmarket, you've got Vauxhall, you've got Collington, you've got several new construction neighborhoods, a lot more of that down here in Midlothian in 23112 than you'll find in Western Henrico. And again, the prices of these new homes are better, here in this zip code versus its Short Pump counterpart. Mainly just because there's a little more land that's abundant in this part of Chesterfield County. So versus land is extremely hard to find in Short Pump. So when a builder developer does find the land, they're paying an absolute premium for it. And the higher the lot price, that drives up the price in new construction, of the overall project. So those are, 4 really, good pros of living in Midlothian, specifically the 23112 zip code. All right, let's talk about a few cons. With everything in life, nothing is perfect. While, I think there are many more pros than cons of living in Midlothian, let's just talk about a couple. Okay, first of all, are going to be Chesterfield property taxes. With the exception of the city of Richmond, when you're looking at all of our surrounding counties of Hanover, Henrico, New Kent, Goochland, Powhatan, Chesterfield is going to have the highest property taxes per 100 of the surrounding counties. So let's go back and look at our Short Pump example. Short Pump has a tax rate of 85 cents per 100 of assessed value, where Chesterfield is 93 cents per 100 of assessed value. So let's look at a $500,000 house, for example. In Short Pump, you're going to have your annual taxes on your $500,000 house. This is in Henrico, where taxes are a bit lower. That's going to run you $4,250, which is the equivalent of $354 a month. Where in Chesterfield, that same $500,000 house will have annual taxes of $4,650, which is $388 per month, or basically roughly 9% higher. Now, what does mitigate that somewhat, though, is our prices are a little bit lower in Chesterfield. So that is a mitigating factor, but just want to let you guys know that the taxes are a little bit higher in Chesterfield County than some of the surrounding counties, yet still not as bad as the city of Richmond. So another thing about Midlothian in general is while there's some good dining, there are entertainment options, Richmond is a very food-centric town, and a lot of those sort of higher end dining experiences you're going to find closer to downtown. More local type restaurants you're going to find downtown. What you're going to get out in Midlothian is a little bit more of the chain type restaurants, and again, some of these are very good, and I'm not saying there aren't some local options out there, but they just sort of are concentrated a little more toward the downtown area, especially if you're into the micro brewing scene. Richmond has really gotten into that. Again, those are concentrated a little bit more toward downtown, and there are just some really great entertainment options downtown, like the Altria Theater. You've got some of the all the museums, so some of the cultural things tend to be more downtown versus out in the counties. So just know that while Midlothian does have entertaining and good dining, it is a little bit better, let's just say, closer into the city. But then that leads us back into, it's really easy because of its great central location and really easy arteries to get down the town. Really, you just have to hop in the car and you can be at some of these options that are closer to the city very fast. So again, while they are not necessarily out in Midlothian, getting to them is still quite easy. So those are a few minor cons of living in Midlothian. Again, I think the pros far outweigh it. I live in Midlothian personally. I love it. I think Chesterfield County and Midlothian is a great place to live and raise a family. And so, if you're considering the Richmond area, Midlothian is definitely a place to take a look at. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this map tour and pros and cons of Midlothian, specifically the 23112 zip code. Hope you found it helpful, informative, hope you enjoyed it. Again, my name is Scott.Dearnley with Joyner Properties. In my 20 years of real estate, 20 plus years of real estate, I have helped countless folks move to the Richmond, Virginia area, and I would love to work with you. I've created a very helpful relocation guide that will save you hours of time and effort and research if you're thinking about relocating to this area. It's a must download, and you can link to it right below. So, and remember, whether you're moving in 9 days, 90 days, heck, even 9 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. All of that information is in the description below. And until next time, I hope to show you around town. Take care.